Hey YouTube, this is Semper.Reefing with a second update on the 210. It's been 4 weeks since my first upload and a lot has actually changed. To begin, I did move majority of my LPS over from my 50 Lagoon to include all my hammers and my frog spawn and my candy cane and acans. I also got a couple new fish. I just got this orange shoulder tang last week, and there's a little bit of aggression balancing out. Mostly just my blue hippo tang was irritated with the new addition. I also got two pink skunk clownfish. There's one there and one up there, and they're still settling in, and I hope they make home with one of these toadstool leathers. Also, earlier this week I worked on tuning in my Derso drains a little bit better. When I first set this tank up, I run a Jabeo DCP 8000 as a return, which at max produces 2100 gallons per hour, and I was only running it at 33%, mainly because it's just so hard to tune these Derso drains in, and it just sounds like a bathtub just constantly draining. So I worked on that for a few hours and I was able to turn my return pump up to 80%. Therefore, I'm turning over twice as much, and I'm estimating I'm getting about 15 to 1600 gallons per hour. With that, I noticed I just noticed the clarity of the water. It's just the water is so much more clear. Probably looks a little hazy now. I haven't cleaned the glass in a couple of days, but just the water clarity. I've noticed my nutrients have gone down. Usually my nitrates would hang around 20 to 22. Yesterday I tested at 10.5. Phosphates always sat around 0.1. Yesterday they tested at 0.03. And I haven't changed my feeding habits either. I usually feed a sheet of nori in the morning. I'll throw pellets in throughout the day, and then I feed them with frozen Rod's food in particular with some Celcon. But just the water clarity, the nutrients, I give all that credit to just the extra filtration, more water running through the sump. And I couldn't be happier with that. And I'm just glad I was able to tune these things in better. They're such a pain. I've also noticed a lot of coral growth, especially this Monicap. It's just growing like crazy. And they're starting to grow together now. Same with this one. Also, after tuning in the Dersos better, I just noticed the coloration of coral. I'm seeing a lot brighter colors, especially on this frog spawn. The green is so bright. And I'm getting a good saturated colors out of this frog spawn as well. If you saw my first video on the 210, this hammer was barely hanging on, but it's really starting to make a comeback, and I really haven't done anything. I just left it there. And I just know with wall hammers, the more you do, the more you stress them out, they're just gonna die. So I really haven't done anything with this, and it's really started to come back. And the camera doesn't do it justice. It's got beautiful colors in person, but you can kind of see the gold stems, and in person it's kind of a peachy or like a rosy purple color. And my fox face just took a crap in front of the camera. Well, like I said, just a lot of growth. This is growing like crazy. I kept trying to put it up on the rock here and it kept falling off, but honestly it's really growing well right here on the gravel. All my Aqueons that I move over look great. My torches, this green torch is really splitting a lot. It started off with 2 heads in here and it's going on 5. Well, it's splitting into 5. This Indo Gold, I'm still working on trying to get the colors out. In person you can kind of see the gold better, but it's not like everybody else's I see. And I did kind of turn down the whites on my lighting schedule. But you know, it still looks happy. I'm sure I'll get the color eventually. This purple sallow I added, it only had about 3 branches when I initially added it, and it's growing like crazy. And then my 2 hammers down here are looking amazing as well. I think I'm getting close to wanting to frag this gold one. Either that or I'll probably find a spot on the rocks for it. But everybody's looking happy. This green slimer was the first acro I put in here, and it was really just a small stick on a frag plug, and it's completely encrusted. And it was kind of my tester. This bubblegum digi is really encrusted over the rock as well, and it's starting to branch out more. And then my yellow tips, it's been a slow grower, but I've noticed it kind of encrusting a little bit more, and I'm hoping that it starts to take off. I did buy some coral from Fish of Hex from his 50% off sale, so I'm excited to get some of his acros in this tank. But like I said, everybody's doing well. I do still have Aptasia in here. They're not really that big of a problem right now. And I do think I'll just add some peppermint shrimp in here. I did add peppermint shrimp in my lagoon, and I can't even find an adaptation now. So I think that's going to be the plan with this tank. I was looking at a copper band butterfly, but I think I'm going to hold off in the meantime. I do suspect some internal parasites. Well, external parasites with my blue hippo. I feel like she has flukes because sometimes I see her flashing and kind of rubbing her side on the rocks. And regretfully, I didn't quarantine any of these fish because I was completely ignorant to the process. And I know, shame on me for not doing that. But I've really been considering just pulling everybody out and running a hospital tank. My buddy gave me a 60 breeder, and I feel like I might just pull them all out, run them through an entire quarantine, let the tank run fallow, and just to give myself that peace of mind moving on, since I do plan on having this tank set up for a good couple years. And I would also obviously quarantine, and I'll actually plan, I'll order fish and I'll plan on it, and I'll have a quarantine set up for them before I add them to this display. Other than that, everything's going really well with this tank, and I couldn't be happier. I will also mention, I forgot to give credit, as far as coral growth, I did get new dosing heads for my Neptune dose, and I am dosing BRS's soda ash in conjunction with my kalkwasser, and that's been helping me keep a steady alkalinity of 8.5. My magnesium's at 1350, my calcium's at 450, and like I said, nitrate's 10, phosphate's 0.03. Salinity, I just checked, is at 1.024. That's about it. I'll keep y'all posted on my progression. Happy reefing and have a nice day.